Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, enemies and comrades, karibuni sana for another session. This is Kenyan Revolutionary. Karibuni, karibuni, karibuni. I'll probably be here maximum 1 hour or maybe less or more. Just depends on how things go. Ama namna gani? Karibuni, karibuni as you get in. The first order of business before I even say anything or start is to ask you, if this is your first time here and you're wondering what this channel is about Kenyan politics, okay? Or should I say politics? Kenyan politics to be exact, okay? Now, do me a favor. Just because you're here already, please take a moment and hit that like button. Hit that like button, okay? Finger your like button and that notification bell. And again, thank you so much. I can see S is there. People Kaur is also there. Karibu sana. Hello, hello. Nice seeing you guys as we continue. I'll probably be here for an hour less. Just depends on how it goes. I know it's Saturday. You guys have things to do, but we'll see. Maybe it might go longer. I just don't know. I just want to cover what I cover. Then I'll see how it goes. If there are people who are interested in getting in and giving their 2 cents, I will gladly oblige if they ask for the link. But there's several things I want to talk about today. So gear up. Kwa ready. We about to address some things. Hold on. Let me fix my stuff here. I have a lot of stuff here that I'm trying to fix. Okay. Let's get started. Now, there's a lot happening. I haven't been on for 2-3 days or something like that. And there's a bunch of news that's happening. The big one today is Karua today embraced his brother Rigath Gachagua in her home in Kirinyaga somewhere. Okay, so that's what's making grounds today. But I won't start with that. I'll save that for later. Other news is, let me see. IEBC. There's some. We have some progress regarding IEBC. IEBC, the court ruled. Remember, it was on the 23rd or 24th where the courts ruled that the names that are given, that were chosen, whatever the case is, they should go ahead and Ruto should go ahead and stamp them on. I'm just paraphrasing, approve them. The petition that was brought there did not stand. The court said, "Hey, these names are good to go, so they should go ahead and reconstitute the IEBC so we can choose the commissioners." Okay. Now, I know on the surface this is a very, very, you might think, okay, finally the courts did the right thing and chose to go with the people. But there's more to that story than it meets the eye. I will explain to you in a minute. In a what? In a minute. Let's see what else is going on. I don't even know where to start. Maybe I might start with that one. Okay, there's a guy called Jared. He's an ODM affiliate. I don't know from where, whatever the case is. I don't know where he stands. I don't know if it's an MP or just one of those advisors. He was on one of these talk shows, morning talk shows. I don't know if it was Citizen or Spice, or not Spice, but Citizen or something. And he made a statement that basically said, Kura haiko kwa imtandao. And I see Ruto is echoing the same thing by saying, you'll never get votes through the people who are making noise on the internet are never going to affect anything as far as the votes are concerned. These are just people who are making noise on the internet, but they do not have any impact politically, which I would like to disagree. And I will mention why digital activism is actually more effective than anything we have seen in the world today. I will explain that too, okay? So those are the 3 main things that I want really to deal with. The Gachagua and Karua newly found alliance. Then I want to also mention the impact of digital activism. That's what they are referring to, okay? They're calling it, and how important it is, okay? And it also ties in with whatever the decision that was made in the IEBC ruling, okay? I'll explain that. Let me just start with those 2 because they're kind of interchangeable. They're very related. Now, let's get started. I will start with this. Again, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't subscribed, like, share, comment, and do all the wonderful stuff. Let me start with Amenya. Amenya is becoming this guy who's exposing everything. Remember that Amenya guy? I think he's based in France or somewhere in France. So yeah, if you don't remember who Amenya is, I think his first name is George or something. Amenya is the Kenyan guy who received the information about Adani and pretty much exposed the whole Adani deal, questioned it, who's behind it, what's the deal with it. And, it went viral and it kind of halted the whole Adani stuff. Well, maybe not, because we are not sure if even when the president said that Adani should be cancelled, we don't know if that's the truth. But let's just stick with this. Let's go with me. Follow me. Adani was exposed by Amenya, okay? George Amenya. Is it George? Let me just make sure. Let me not naming or whatever the case is. Okay, I see another story is also about the assassination of Raila Odinga. That's a bunch of nonsense. I'll deal with it later. We'll get to that. Wanga and these ODM affiliated politicians have their own agenda. And of course, they're working closely with Ruto. I'll simply say this. They're trying to maintain the rift between the people, the Luo community and the people of the mountain. Of course, they're exploiting this because they understand the historical difference between these two communities since the Tom Mboya assassination. And this whole claim that Luos have always been ostracized and, marginalized and are not always involved in positions of power or influential position in the government. And now Wanga, Robert Alai, and all this ODM newfound alliance with Kenya Kwanza, they are running with this narrative that, Luos are finally in the government, so they're benefiting. Even Wanga came out and spoke and say something, it's a mess. We'll get to that. But let's start with the IEBC ruling, because I want to stick to the script here. Yes, Amenya. Thank you very much, Kay. It's Amenya, yeah. Let's start with Amenya, because I really want to dig into Amenya's stuff. Amenya has wonderful influence, and I like this because I'm trying to connect the two. Amenya is part of those digital activists, okay? The people who are very active on the digital space, internet, and they are very influential, okay? They bring an issue and they get information from people, insiders, whistleblowers, and they expose it and they make it go viral and people react, and it has an effect. In fact, I would argue that the ruling that was made by IEBC had something to do with what Amenya posted, okay? Because he actually exposed that before this thing happened. So let's get to it. So let me help you understand and connect the dots so you can see what I'm talking about. All right, are you ready? All right, let me adjust my thing where we are. Can you hear me now? Sorry, I accidentally mute myself or something. I don't know. Sorry, I was on another page. Poleni sana. Can you guys hear me? Poleni. All right, let me see. Okay, good, good, good. Nico. Haya, sawa. Wacha basi niwapeleke huko, wacha niwapeleke. Let me see if I can get this straight. Okay, hold on, hold on. Let me just get my stuff straight. I'm about to. All right, good. All right. Sawa. Let me share this tweet with you. Then we'll get started. I want to give you the background of how this IEBC started and the outrage and the pressure they put in, which kind of, I think, in my opinion, influenced the decision that was made by that judge. Okay, to go ahead with this IEBC thing. Let's go. Let me share the screen real quick. Twende kazi nisiwaribia wakati. Now that I'm audible, back on audio, let's go. Hold on. Haya, ndio hiyo. Watch the screen real quick. You see George Amenya? All right, so I don't know which one to say. Let me start with this one right here to be specific. Here, this one here. Can you guys see the screen? Let me see. I want to make sure that everyone sees the screen, is able to see the screen. All right. Hold on, wait a minute. Let me make it a little bigger so you can see what I'm talking about. Aya. Sawa. Karibuni sana. Now here it is. Nelson Amenya, I think that's his name. If only my thing can load up quicker, I will be the happiest man in the world, but it's not. So crap. All right. It's Inaribwakati. Dang. Will I have to paraphrase this? Or let me see. Can we go back? Crap. All right. Nelson Amenya, please. Let's just go. All right, here it is. So Nelson Amenya posted this yesterday on the 24th. I am Naskia. This is what he said. He's basically said, what the hell? Is this Augustine Muli? And who does he think he is? Okay. So somebody wrote to Menya or whatever the case is. This is what I'm not going to read it. Okay, I will. It's not too far. Somebody wrote, hello, Nelson. In the case of Ambassador Koki Muli and Augustus Muli, it is Augustus Muli who has taken Ambassador Koki to court. She has no case in court anywhere in Kenya. You are calling the wrong person. So there was a confusion between Augustine Muli and Koki Muli. For those of you who don't know, when Azimio were changing their ninio, karibu sana, Laban, karibu sana, Laban. Just a quick background between these two. There's Augustine Muli and Koki Muli. Koki Muli, I think, is a woman. So what happened is this: when Azimio chose their ninio, picked their ninio selection panel, Augustine Muli claimed that he was voted. He got the most votes, 16 or 9 or something like that, from his party. So he felt like, he was legitimately supposed to be part of the selection panel. Now, Kalonzo Musyoka stepped in, since they were both from Wipe, I think. Kalonzo Musyoka stepped in and said, no, it's Koki Muli who is going to be I'm choosing the Koki Muli to be the part of the selection panel. So karibu sana DJ Moda. So Augustine Muli was butthurt about this and said, okay, you know what? I got the most votes because we were having a democratic process. People took the votes and I won. So I was supposed to be the part of the selection panel. So he put in a petition in, I think, two courts or whatever, one in Kiambu and one somewhere else. I don't know where. So both of them are named Muli. So this was what's stalling. The courts were saying, okay, we'll adjudicate that matter on the 24th or 23rd, which was yesterday or the day before. So all this time, the whole selection panel process was stalled. We couldn't continue because of this petition that was put in the courts. So now, yes, Omepeleka Courts of Appeal, yes, okay. So this is what has been dragging. This too has been going on and on and on. So anyway, just to help you, not to help you out, just to shine a little bit light between these two. So Nelson Amenya, that's his name, Amenya, not Nelson Amenya, alipata ujumbe, alipata message kutoka kwa mtu, some insider somewhere, wherever that insider is, that it is Augustine Muli who is stalling the process. Amepeleka hiki mambo kotini, and it's dragging because he's holding the country at ransom. We can't go ahead and have an IEBC because there's a dispute about who is supposed to be on the selection panel. For those of you who don't know who selection panel is, the selection panels are people who are being wamechaguliwa, who are in turn going to choose who are going to be the next commissioners of the IEBC. Okay, and since we have this IEBC amendment bill, the new setup is that all political coalitions will choose their candidates, okay, depending on the number of the, which is whoever have the bigger, seats in the parliament or whatever the case is, okay. So that's what happened. Anyway, so Nelson Amenya got this message, and he got the message that it was Augustine Muli who was stalling the process because he's the one who put in petition, okay. Now, once he got the message, Nelson Amenya, exposed that in his Twitter space. Then akapost number ya Augustine Muli, and boy oh boy, people started calling Augustine Muli, and there's the message. You can see unaona matusi ilianza hapo hivyo. I hope you guys can see. Let me see if I can see myself here. Okay. So as you can see hapo, nani Augustine Muli or whatever the case is started getting messages ambao are not so nice, okay. So people started, watu wakaanza kumsalimia, as we call it. Augustine Muli alianza kusalimiwa na watu. I mean, people were just saying not so nice things, and people, Simyake was going off. So the guy, once he started getting all these calls, people are blaming for that. As you can see, you can read it on the screen by yourself. I won't read all those words, but you can see. So after the guy got the message and akaanza kupata hizi ninio, he made a video explaining his position and why there's this whole stalling of your case imeenda. And here he is. I'll give him a benefit of doubt. Here he is. Let him explain himself. Then you guys can make up your mind. Here it is. He speaks.
Find the facts, and let us fight together so that the social media. I want to request the ex-team, please find the facts, and let us fight together so that the next commission will not be divided like it was, where some people have their loyalties on some godfathers. I want to challenge the person who lost to me. Why did she lose? She lost because her loyalty is not to the entire team. Her loyalty is to one political party. Her loyalty is to Kalonzo Musyoka. And that's why the rest of the people refused to vote for her. Those who voted for me, the representatives of millions of Kenyans who voted for me, is because they believe that I will fight for the Kenyans, for the majority of Kenyans, not for an individual. And that's why I'm being fought. That's why I'm being branded all sorts of names, or proxy of the government. Where was the government when we were voting in July? I am nobody's proxy. I represent 16 political parties, which represent millions of Kenyans. If the Kenyans say today, we want you to withdraw, I will withdraw immediately. Right now, I can withdraw, but not to withdraw to candidates of godfathers with preconceived ideas on who should be chosen to be a commissioner in this country. Thank you.
Okay. So that's the first video that he made. Baada ya kusalimiwa na watu, kupigiwa simu and all this stuff. Here's the second one. It's the second part of the same video, actually.
Conversation on IEBC, the reconstitution of IEBC. Following a post on X by Nelson Amenya, my phone is literally jammed with messages and phone calls. And a lot of people have called me with the impression that I am the reason why we don't have an IEBC today. And I want to clarify that I am not. I am with the rest of the Kenyans in demanding, in asking, in making sure that an IEBC is in place today. And I wanted to take this chance to just take the Kenyans, the entire world, through exactly what happened, where we are, and how we got here. July last year, we had an election to choose a representative from the Azimio coalition to sit in the IEBC selection panel. 16 parties out of 23 voted for me, against 7 who voted for my opponent, Dr. Muli of the Wiper Party. Immediately after the elections, the national media, national televisions were given my name, and they announced my name, and they announced that the selection panel was complete. But the following day, the Azimio team changed my name, giving all sorts of reasons, including gender and whole lots of reasons. So, as a representative of 16 parties, I represent millions of Kenyans, and I couldn't let them get away with it. I couldn't let impunity change a name. So I went to the PBDT, the Political Parties Tribunal, Dispute Tribunal, and they voted in my favor. And they said the IEBC selection panel should be constituted immediately with my name. If that had happened, right now we would have a complete IEBC commission in place. But the powers that be, the people with godfathers, they went ahead to the High Court and filed an appeal. And those without godfathers like me were put aside. Now, I want to start here and categorically say that I won in this election, but I do not have to sit in that selection panel. The only reason I'm there is because I want to fight impunity in this country. You will all know what happened in 2022 when a commission was clearly divided. Some commissioners for one candidate and others for another candidate. This is exactly what has been planned. This is exactly what had been planned. People already had predetermined candidates for the selection panel. And I, because I don't have a godfather, did not fall in any of those categories. So, I am not the one to blame. After the PPDT ruled that my name should be included, my opponents went to the High Court. They are the ones who went to the High Court. All they need to do is to withdraw and accept that they lost. And tomorrow we can have an IEBC. All those who are calling me today, they're calling me because they want a better country. They want to fight corruption. They want to fight impunity. They want to fight the bad system that we are in today. And I stand for that. I have gone around trying to meet all leaders. People have seen videos of me meeting even the president, meeting even the prime minister, meeting the Wiper leader, trying to find a solution. I want to request.
All right. So basically, Mr. Muli, this is Augustine Muli. Like I explained, for those of you who are just getting in and didn't get the memo. So this guy was basically explaining that he won. He was chosen through this party coalition members of the Azimio. They chose him to be the part of the selection panel. But long behold, Kalonzo intervened and chose the other Muli, Koki Muli. But it seems like this guy, people don't trust him. Anyway, majority of Kenyans are just mad because he took the case to the court and is kind of stalling the whole process. So that is why people are so mad. Right. Yeah, so there was even, I think he had a debate. He had a debate with the other Koki Muli. There's a video of him, when Ruto went to Kisii. I think there was a function there in Kisii somewhere. And he was there dancing and doing all sorts of things with, people are wondering, what are you doing? And what wanasema ati he must be Ruto's pick. That's why. But again, to me, I do not, So that's where you see his tweet right there. He wrote, I want to make it clear that I am not the one delaying the constitution of the IEBC. The claims are baseless rumors being spread by my opponent, who is simply bitter after losing in a free and fair election. Let us focus on facts, okay? So here he is. This is him again, where he was exposed. He wrote, this is his previous Ninium. I am pleased to be in Kisii State Lodge for the new year address by our President William Ruto and an exclusive end year dinner. Happy New Year, fellow Kenyans. So here he is somebody posted. He was in this New Year's celebration in Kisii. So he's kind of, the idea is he's very close to Ruto, okay? So people feel like he's Ruto's mole, okay? Ruto's pick, or whatever the case is. So that's how people feel about that. He was being, they were debating with the other Muli who he took to court. He petitioned against that.
The entire Azimio are willing to withdraw and step back, but not to hand over my victory to her. To whom? We sit down, the entire Azimio, in front of the churches, in front of people of integrity. Watu wazimio waseme hatutaki huyu, tunataka huyu.
Ngoja, unataka kulipwa wewe.
Mimi sitaki kulipwa.
Unataka kulipwa.
They have tried to bribe me. They have offered me money.
How much?
A lot of money.
How much?
Millions of shillings. They have offered, I have refused. Hata mejaribu kuniambia watanipatia ambassador ya Dubai. Wamesema watanipatia PS.
Wewe. Go for your PS.
You see, let me tell you.
Let me ask you, Daktari, mbona na wewe usiachilie?
Mimi niliachilia kitambo.
Haja
When
achilia,
we are here.
For the sake of the country.
Let's withdraw what? I'm not the one in court. There are two.
Andika barua.
I withdraw.
Yes.
Withdraw.
For the sake of the
No.
country.
Please. You people must understand. I write a letter to withdraw what? He's the one.
When do you mean the High Court?
No.
The woman in the Court of Appeal.
Yes.
Right now, when I went to the High Court a long time ago. I won that case. I was nominated. My name was sent to parliament.
No, which comes first?
No, it is
Tell us which comes first.
Kenyans
My
are
appeal
interested.
or her High Court?
Guys, you know
No.
you're holding the country
Yes.
at ransom.
Not guys, please.
You know that.
Please.
Yes.
Augustine Muli, PNU, and the persons with disability are the only people with cases that are holding this process for
Where do
happening.
those cases emanate
It doesn't matter where
They
emanate from.
emanate
We are
from
talking
the
about
fact
now.
that you are
About
trying to steal
now.
my victory.
No,
you are
how?
trying to steal the true representation of a majority of parties in Azimio.
When the
This
Supreme
majority have
Court-
said this is the only person, and they've repeated that in front
When-
of the principals.
when the Supreme Court-
20 elections, they'll still choose me. That's why
It
they are
does-
scared of
when
having
the
an election.
Supreme
Hot 96.
Okay, so basically, as you can see, this whole thing is dragging between these two. One seems to claim that he was democratically elected within this party coalition to be on the selection panel, and the other was handpicked by Kalonzo Musyoka. So the other guy goes to court and whatever, and that's what's happening with this. Okay, but here's the thing, right? Gypsy's like, Azimio. I like this. They are full of crap. But anyway, so here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. Once Nelson Amenya exposed this guy's name, he got the calls. Okay, alisalimiwa na kwa ninio. In fact, I don't know if he changed his phone number or whatever the case is, but the outrage was palpable. Okay, now he obviously lost, I guess, hours after this happened, or a day, before this happened. Okay, before the judgment was set, he lost the case because there was an outrage. People were saying, "Hey, when do you unasimamisha watu hapa? Can you please stop this? Whatever." So I don't know if he's the one who went to the appeals court or whoever lost, whatever the case is. But the bigger message is this on this issue. Let me just make this message make this clear, because there's a lot of confusion and whatever the case is. But the bigger message on this whole thing is this. It took Wanainchi's outrage to influence what was happening at the courts. It's kind of similar to what happened with the finance bill, okay? It took Wanainchi's outrage for the members of parliament to get their act right. Of course, we were bamboozled and lied to, and, tukapelekwa huku na pale, then Ruto still got what he wanted from the finance bill, okay? But the message is, after this, this guy was exposed, his number and all this stuff, and it forced him to make a X video and post it and tell people, hey, I'm not holding people, whatever, ransom, the country ransom. It's not up to me and all this and this stuff. And from my understanding, I think the courts ruled against him, okay? So, it's unfortunate that mambo itaenda kwa appeals court, as she Mariam has just told me on the chat there. I'm not aware of it. Maybe I'm just getting the message from you guys. Anasema hiyo case itaenda kwa nini? Hiyo case itaenda. This will drag if they keep on doing this. We will have to find out, because if it goes to courts of appeal, then that's and this is why I'm saying Ruto is all behind this, and with Azimio also, they're all behind this. Why? Listen, if this matter is of national importance, let's just get that right. It is of national importance. In a case that needs to be adjudicated on immediately, the courts shouldn't be telling us that, okay, let's push this case up to July so we can listen it to July. I'm not saying that the courts of appeal case will be heard in July, but I'm just saying, since it's a matter of national importance, okay, the court should act expeditiously, okay? So hii kitu inafaa ikatwe next week, so that if whoever loses and feels that, if the guy loses and feels that he wants to go to the Supreme Court, let him do so, because we need the IEBC to be reconstituted like yesterday. So that's what I'm saying. But the overall message that I want to make regarding this issue, regardless of which Muli you're talking about, I can care less. As Gypsy Corner has rightfully said on a comment section, the Azimio side are full of crap. That is true. But again, it takes digital activism to get stuff moving. Okay? The Gen Zs got to the streets, but the Gen Z, the whole genesis of it started on the digital space. Hatukukutana kamkunji tuseme hey endelee hivi. That's why I keep on telling people we are living in different times. It's not like Sabasaba where we will wait for the radios and say this. No. Now we can post something, we can expose somebody. If it's Muli who is stalling the case with his petitions and all this stuff, or it's whichever Muli it is, we identify that person, tunachukua namba yake, tunaiweka kwa internet, watu wanampigia simu, and he withdraws the case. That's how effective digital activism is. We are using the internet. Everyone has access to internet. Actually, not everyone. Sudan has shut down social media or internet for 3 months. I think Ruto will do that in 2027. So let's not laugh. But I hope my point is taken home. This is why I greatly disagree with people who say Ruto, of course, he would say that because he's getting the worst end of the stick, when we're talking about digital, activism, okay? Jared, I forgot his name, who was saying that watu wa mtandao hawana effect. They don't have effect. No, they do have effect. Just one post from Nelson Amenya is enough to drive people to address these Azimio minions to get their act together and force the court to rule accordingly. And the courts should also act with a sense of urgency, because there are constituencies that have no representatives as it stands right now. Okay? So that's what's happening. Yes. I wouldn't be surprised if he'll kind of mess up with it. Because remember the time of Ninio, the time of maandamano, when Safaricom ilifanya ile kitu. Okay? Remember that? So these are the things that he will definitely do that, because the maandamano, the 21st century maandamano starts on the internet. Haianzi kwa streets, si ati tunakutana kwa msikiti na tunaanza kuongea ama this starts from the internet and it spills over to the streets in real world, okay? So so yeah, so this is what happens. So we should encourage this, and it will get even more and more and more and more. People will get more and more active on the internet because it's the younger folks who are really live in virtual world. So for those who are people who are talking about that watu ambao wana protest kwa mtandao have no effect, they're in for a rude shock. This is going to happen. Hii kitu inaendelea. Okay? So that's why I'm saying whoever was saying at hii kitu anyway, so so Amenya has been in. Let's move on to this guy real quick. What's his name? Onyonka had something to say. He very interesting. Real quick. He's a Matiangi guy, I guess. I don't know. He's from Kisii. Not a Matiangi guy, but if you want to call him Matiangi guy, then it is what it is. All right. Here he is. If I can get this.
Matiangi Okengu.
Okay, let me just snap it a little bit.
Na tena hatusongi nyuma. We will
All right, this thing is frozen.
Continue. We have decided that if
Hold on, let's get started.
wataniuliza niongee vile nimesema, sisi kama jamii ya Omogusi tumeamua candidate yetu ya urais hapa nchini Kenya 2027 elections anaitwa Dr. Fred Matiangi Okengu. Na tena hatusongi nyuma. We will continue. We have decided that if you have a dysfunctional country, that institutions are not ready to share the cake equitably, then you must look for alternatives. How you will force those who are in power to share those resources with you equitably. And one of the approaches, we'll set our own political party, we will go and negotiate. We know Fred Matiangi is going to win, but he cannot win alone. We are going to talk to everybody. We are going to talk to Kalonzo, we will talk to Gachagua, we will talk to Uhuru, we will even talk to Raila. We will tell them it is now our time, because where we are, this country requires to look for us also from the small clans. Even us who are without the numbers, we need to be given an opportunity to show what we can do. Usawa na mwakitu kwa nabo. Mwachera nile. Nyorokio kawako igange. Ndembia mono sana.
All right. What's sad about this? But Onyonka is always on morning talk shows, and he does a good job exposing how dysfunctional Ruto's government is. The sad part of Onyonka's speech here is that he also falls into this old thinking, the very playbook that Ruto has been using, Uhuru has been using, Kibaki has been using, Moi and Jomo, which is tribal, coalition, chieftains having a coalition and moving and so now he basically boldly states that he said, so he boldly states that them as the Abagusi people, they've decided that Matiangi will be their main guy. That will be their representative. So the walikutana huko Nairobi, and Matiangi will be pushed to represent the Abagusi. They feel like they are coming from the Abagusi is a small tribe, but it's time for them to also have a hand in leadership as far as the presidency is concerned. So they are settling on Matiangi. Even before I even start with Matiangi, here is what Gypsy Kone is saying. Onyonka is a funny guy. Fred Matiangi has got support from Uhuru, but he shouldn't be his project. Okay. Before even yes, Matiangi is Uhuru's project, but even before we get to the Uhuru project, again, Onyonka should know better. If you're going to choose somebody, even if you're going to front somebody, pick somebody who is not part of the problem. Somebody who has contributed greatly in the destruction of Kenya. Matiangi is a problem. He is the reason. He is part of the reason why we are where we are as a country. So for him to come out and say, okay, he's basing his choice of candidacy based on Matiangi speaking the same language as him. Yeah. Will Mr. Atilus. So yes, KK is making a good point here. We have to avoid recycling at all costs. Please, we can't carry over cancer. Absolutely. We are recycling the same people. I mean, what? So Abagusi, you're just choosing Matiangi because he comes from that community. They don't care about maybe Matiangi's past, Matiangi's past corrupt dealings, Matiangi's hand during the youths that were being gunned down, Matiangi's, it's just because he's from Kisii. So we are, come on. As the Kisii community through Simba Arati, we are behind Raila Odinga. Okay. Hi. Labani, umeanza. But I mean, maoni yako. I respect your opinion. So you see, that's what bothers me with this whole Onyonka. I thought Onyonka is somebody reasonable. Like he does a good job when he's talking about Neo. But to settle for Matiangi, again, just like KK has just said, we can't be recycling these people. These are very people who have been there since the Moi days. And they continue to, we're just musical chairs. Leo wako sijui interior minister, kesho wako sijui minister of sijui what education, mara sijui is in the Uhuru government, is now Ruto government, he was in the same nonsense. And we expect to get different results. Isn't that the definition of madness? You see? To let Matiangi first be. So that's where Onyonka just disappointed me with that. I thought he was really someone who, someone who knows better than that. So, but anyway, that hiyo ni maoni yake. That if that's how they feel, that's how they feel. I can't, I'm just saying. And again, going back to this digital, this whole idea of digital activism. Okay, we have an opportunity to expose these people, this recycled politicians, their past. Okay, mtu yoyote akikuja hapa akatuambia ati Matiangi is ninio, mtu yoyote akikuja hapa akatuambia ati Matiangi is the right ninio for the job to be president in 2027, we shall ask the questions. Okay, tell us, what did Matiangi do? Okay, unatuambia mambo ya education. How about when he was the interior minister, when he was involved in illegally? So I'll put the link after all that in. How come? Mbona unataka kuzia watu ambao we know these people are corrupt, there's blood in their hands, they're committing these atrocities, but unataka kuwaosha saa 2027 ati 2025 mnakuja hapa mnatuambia ati Matiangi ametosha. I mean, and it has nothing to do with the community. I can care less if he's if a Masai or Embu or whatever the case is, or Luo or whatever the case is. It has nothing to do with that. I'm just looking at his resume and his past involvement in deadly corrupt activities of the former regime. The criminal enterprise that was being run by Uhuru Kenyatta. He committed a lot of illegal stuff, land grabbing, presided over the killings of the youth, and so forth, torture, abductions. And now here he is in 2025, he's telling us, hey, I'm ready to run for presidency. And we're supposed to accept it. Hey, Matiangi. That's why digital activism is so important, because now we can go back and Google and see those cases that Matiangi has been involved in, those corrupt cases, those atrocities that he committed during Uhuru Kenyatta's tenure, all of them, we can all come here and expose it and remind the public that Matiangi is not fit to be the president of the Republic of Kenya. Same thing as Martha Karua. That's why I said, I know my very good friend, my gypsies to watch. Pole kwa neighbor wako. The same thing with my very good friend who usually comes to the show, Kip. You know, he gets mad at us because we say we are not going to buy Martha Karua's rubbish because she comes in. We know what she did. We know the corrupt dealings that she's involved in. But in 2025, all of a sudden, she is this wonderful lady, iron lady that wants to run for president. We're not buying it. And here we shall question and ask about these cases, her involvement, and all this stuff that she has been involved in. We are not giving her pass just because you guys are calling her iron lady, just because she comes from the mountain and you're from the mountain, so unamninio. That's fine. If you want to vote for her because she's your tribes lady, your tribesman, hiyo ni sawa, ni haki yako. Lakini we shall ask the questions. What was her role back then? How come she did what she did? She presided over, was a deputy of a conman. You can't be a deputy of a conman, then come here in 2025 and act like, oh, now you've seen the light. You are the better choice. But by all means, you want to sell her, come sell her. We'll ask the questions. You might get mad, but we shall ask the questions. Brother Benson Karibu-san, I see you. Nice seeing you. Please, ladies and gentlemen, if you have time, make it to Brother Benson's channel and go subscribe, like, share, comment, and be part of that community. He has a wonderful channel where he comes in daily with Marco Bura and Mugoda, and they have wonderful discussions there. Similar discussions that we're having here, okay? Perhaps more interesting. Yeah, so Gypsy Corner is telling me, Kipril, Karua is not happy seeing Gachagua visiting the Stone Age lady. Speaking of Martha Karua, let's get to it. Then after that, I'll put the link in so anybody who wants to come in can come in. Because I see Kipril, not Kipril, okay, has asked for the link, so I'll throw it in here. And atuambie 2, 3, 1, 6, 5, and the rest, okay? So let's find Martha Karua, the iron lady. Speaking of which, this is a clip from Mutembe. So Mutembe, give me a pass. I'm using your for education purposes, of course. Here's Martha Karua, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters. Just give me a minute. Let me, my Nino is very slow today, so bear with me. Bear with what? Bear with me. Bear ikuwe na mimi. So yeah, as we continue to give you what you need, I'm just waiting for my stuff to load up. Karibuni. Kivezi here too, to Kwanjiru. Hold on. Oh my goodness, my computer is so... All right, let me play Martha Karua. And please, the Kikuyu speakers, if you're fluent in Kikuyu, please interpret. Some of it she was saying in Kikuyu, and I'm not a Kikuyu, so help me out and explain. Let's go on. Aya, Martha tueleze mambo namna gani. There's a newfound alliance between Martha Karua and Gachagua. And before I even play this Martha's video, anyway, I'll say that, and I'll bring in the link. I'm already a member, so don't worry about that. Anyway, here's Martha Karua, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends and comrades. Here's Martha. Let's listen in what she has to say. Here it is.
Second Deputy President, Rigath Gachagua. Ona kongio kongedagitwo the second. That will remain with him. Your Excellency, the second Deputy President of the Republic. It's a great day indeed. We have joined hands with my brother, His Excellency Rigath Gachagua. A journey of uniting and liberating Kenya has begun. And like he has said, we are going to join with people from all corners of this country. After all, he's already been working with people from all over the country. I myself have been working with people from all over the country. But just you imagine that effort combined, that force combined. We need everybody, every person of goodwill to join hands to push back, because the rogue, allow me no sugarcoating, the rogue Ruto regime is determined to oppress Kenyans. It's a merciless regime that resembles the oppressive colonial regime. Hawajui kupeana, they just extract. They want to raid the paychecks, which are already battered, and finish whatever was remaining for putting food on the table for use by the family. They want to extract without giving commensurate services. Access to health has been diminished by SHA and SHIF. Access to education has been diminished, no capitation, and it doesn't come in time. Schools opened almost a month ago. The schools have yet to receive capitation. For the university students, the court stopped the discriminatory so-called new funding model. The common sense.
All right. That was just a snippet of what she was talking about. I won't bore you with the rest of it. I think you get the gist. The main news is that, as KK has just said in the on the chat there, Martha Karua is saying that she's working with everybody else from every community in every part of the country, but of course, in this occasion, she was joining hands with Gachagua. Now, I've been saying this for the longest. In mchezo wa town, all these elites are playing with us, political elites, okay? Ni mchezo wanatuchezea. It was just a few months ago, 6-7 months ago, whatever the case is, or a year, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, Gachagua was running against Martha Karua and Raila Odinga. And we saw them debate. We saw Martha Karua, how she was saying not so nice things to Gachagua, about Gachagua, okay? We saw that, okay? Now, all of a sudden, Gachagua, since he was kicked out unconstitutionally, Gachagua is a convenient ally. In fact, she's referring to him as brother, okay? You see how this thing is playing. And not only that, they are playing into what Ruto is saying. Ruto is over there in Western Kenya telling us that Gachagua is a tribalist and is all about the people of Mount Kenya. And Gachagua is making inroads. Gachagua seems to be trying to unify the Mount Kenya. Nothing wrong with that in its but the game plan, not the game plan, whatever they're doing. If you listen to me very carefully, listen to me for a second. I want you guys to understand what I'm trying to say. Karibu sana WS Banker. This is the bigger point that I want to make. Remember, Gachagua was saying that Ruto ameenda Western kuuza nini zake, ameenda Western Kenya, but he has nothing to show of what he has accomplished. Instead, he's busy discussing about Gachagua. And Ruto is in Western doing exactly what Gachagua is saying. He doesn't have any miradi ambayo amefanya, whatever the case is. He's busy talking about Gachagua and how Gachagua was incompetent, is a tribalist, anataka tu kuninio watu wake, inciting his people. Then Gachagua is doing exactly what Ruto is saying. You know, yes, Gachagua anatembea in Mount Kenya uniting the leader. There's nothing wrong with that in a sense, but the narrative that they're trying to create, both of them, is what we see, and the news media is going with that. So we are seeing Gachagua, I heard he's supposed to be meeting Uhuru Kenyatta next, okay, after Martha Karua. So you see, to the public and suspecting public, we are seeing that Ruto is saying this about Gachagua, or Gachagua just cares about Murima and is uniting the Murima because he's a tribalist. And Gachagua is actually doing that. Okay? It's it's fulfilling what Ruto is saying. And Gachagua in turn is saying, Ruto, he's corrupt, is this and that and that and that, and he's not doing nothing, he's trying to, he's just discussing me. And Ruto is doing exactly that. Then you have another factor, the new Gladys Wanga and the rest of this Neo, okay, who are also playing into this nonsense. This whole idea of trying to create a rift between Wajaluo na Wakikuyu and the president, anybody affiliated with the president. So if you listen to anyone that is close to the ODM faction of the Azimio party, they will be hitting on Gachagua, blaming the Mount Kenya. In fact, anybody who speaks, even the Gen Z, I saw the young Gen Z lady who was in JKL, who was saying that Raila betrayed the Gen Zs. Then you have Kaluma and Robert Alai quickly came out and say, you see, we were talking about Mount Kenya because the lady has a name, a Mount Kenya in your Kikuyu name. That's good. So you see, anyone who is exposing these political elites anakuwa label, especially if you're from Mount Kenya. Wanasema, we unaona. So you see the ODM folks are very busy. In fact, Wanga just came out with this political assassination nonsense about ati Raila ati Gachagua alikuwa anataka kuua Raila Odinga. Jamani. Hata kama unataka, I mean, are we buying this in 2025? Who is going to believe that? Like, seriously? Wacheni yo mchezo wana. It is designed to Ninio. And I'll play this clip before I put the link in. So you can listen, you can see the game that is being played. Unaona, these political elites are niliwambia nini before, they are creating an environment where division shall be very, very evident. They want to create political tension based on regionalism and tribalism. Because the biggest threat is the what? Gen Z. Gen Z is Gen Zote. It's a representative of majority of Kenyans who are simply asking for the Kenyan constitution to be realized, to be respected, and to be adhered to. But hawataki kufuata hii constitution, maana wakifuata hii constitution vile inafaa kufuatwa, wote wataenda jela. Wote hiyo mali yao itachukuliwa. Wote watakosa kazi. So for them to maintain their position of lording on us, they have to play this mchezo wa town. Martha Karua aenda akakutana na huko Gachagua, waeke, play into this narrative that Mount Kenya, we are separate from Kenya. We are being ostracized. Alafu wale wakina Gladys Wanga na wakina Kaluma to do the same by mentioning, Mount Kenya wanatuonea vibaya kwa sababu sisi pia sasa tuko serikali. So you see, they are trying to point a finger at them. You hear Wanga was celebrating at sijui now we have the first time in history we have a attorney general who's a Luo. We have a finance minister, I don't know what, Mbadi, who is a Luo, is in Neo. And you ask yourself, even if they're in that position, what kind of development or advantages have the people of the Luo community, Luo nation, have Neo seen? What development have they seen since these ODM folks, former ODM folks, joined Bread-based government? What have they done? Ichungwa has also hails from Mount Kenya. What development has Ichungwa brought? Ichungwa, I heard, cannot even go back home. So these people are playing these games by trying to create this division between tribes. You see what I'm saying? Yes, I will try to. Sindio, they're not working anywhere. Lakini wanataka they want to pump this mambo at ye. You hear people say how those people who are not supporting Raila to go to AUC are not patriotic. How are they not patriotic and they've been ninio? Raila liwadanganya. Ukisema ukweli unasema even I've been even accused here by some of ninio ati I'm working for Gachagua. Lakini just because I said that Gachagua alitolewa kwa ofisi unconstitutionally, sawa anasema wewe uko kwa payroll ya Gachagua. Hii ni mchezo wengine hapa sasa hata sielewi jamani. But let me play these two videos then I'll put the link alafu watu waingie waanze kusema mambo yao ama namna gani. So here it is. Yeah. There's one that's interesting that I wanted to know. There's the LSK who came out. This is a very it's a non-starter for me. Uyo LSK head came out and said they will protest and do nini on the behalf of Abdinasir's law firm, because Abdinasir is not allowed in Supreme Court. So I'm asking myself, why should LSK go and really listen to this real quick? Let me focus on this, then I'll najua their people.
Law firm, along with their clients. The conduct of the Supreme Court raises fundamental questions about judicial conduct and fairness, its broader implications for the legal profession and the public confidence in the judiciary. Extending the ban to advocates employed in or associated with senior counsel Ahmed Nasir's law about judicial conduct.
Hold on. Can you read the screen? The screen says the LSK vows to occupy Supreme Court in protest against judicial impunity and barring of lawyer Abdel Nasir's firm from appearing before it. Now, Abdel Nasir's law firm is a private company. Okay? So LSK is willing to go protest by occupying the judicial building on behalf of a private firm, which is owned by a corrupt fake lawyer, Abdel Nasir. We know about the story of Abdel Nasir. If you know, you know. I'm not going to this advanced class again. Go do your homework on Abdel Nasir. Abdel Nasir is not a lawyer. Never qualified. So LSK is willing to go protest on behalf of Nani Abdel Nasir, calling it judicial what? Impunity. I'm sorry, Miss LSK President. We have bigger problems than that. Okay? I would have loved if you made this statement right after the Supreme Court ruled to uphold the Supreme Court, the Finance Bill 2024, 2025, if I'm not wrong. The one that they had a unanimous ruling. I would have loved to see the LSK president say something about occupying the judiciary buildings after that. Because that was an issue of national importance. Abdel Nasir is a private firm. You are willing to go out there die for Abdel Nasir, but ikifika mambo ya national importance, oh no, wewe huwezi kwenda kuninio. Hiyo si judicial impunity. You see what I'm saying? Ndio maana I will not tolerate this LSK lady for now. I don't care what she says. Abdel Nasir, we know he's being used by Ruto and Nelson Harvey. They are trying to remove Nani. Okay, before we get to Wanga, let's hear it here. There's a clip that I want you to hear. I like this clip here, and this is why this lady, after saying what she said, she was accused of being Mount Kenya's doing she is.
I am from being a Kenyan, which is very wrong. Which is some ID card has been monetized first of all. And then it has an expiry date as though you expire from being a Kenyan, which is very wrong, which is some of the things that we're saying, what is wrong with this administration.
How much are they charging, by the way?
Is it 1,000?
1,000, huh?
Yeah.
And then it has what, a 2-year
10-year.
10-year expiration.
10-year expiration.
Go on.
Which is unacceptable, really. And it is becoming very difficult for people to get identity cards. Like, you can barely eat. Now you want to pay for an identity card, which was originally free. So we want to push that ID cards go back to being free. We want to push for the reconstitution of IEBC. We have been saying this over and over again. It's really an impediment to how we want to move forward. We would have already recalled so many members of parliament because parliament is very problematic. So we are working towards consolidating our constituency in a way that come 2027, we are actually getting into those positions of influence, because we cannot keep protesting about things that are not working. We need to put people in positions that actually birth that new country that we want to see, that respects the rule.
I disagree with her wholeheartedly. I hate when people say, okay, we want to reconstitute the IEBC, we want to start our own political party and get in position of influence, then tuanze kubomoa hii corrupt system by using the people that we voted in. The problem is that the people who will vote in will wataenda rub shoulders, they'll be offered money, and before you know it, they'll start singing the same tune as the same parliamentarians that are there. Most of these parliamentarians went there, some of them, with good intentions. Wakafika hapo, Ruto akapatia milioni 10 or whatever the case is, and it got us where we are. So while her idea on the surface sounds good, I really disagree with it. Like, again, I'm one of those people who are advocating for a total overhaul. But for the sake of the discussion, let's just hear what she has to say. She's almost done.
Of law respects the Constitution of Kenya 2010 and has really just humanity, kwa sababu ni utu ambayo tumekosa kwenye uongozi wetu.
Yeah.
Our leaders wamekosa utu kabisa completely.
Okay, there's another one that I wanted to. This is actually not the one I wanted to play, but there was a as I wrap up. This one is what I wanted to play actually. If only
on this show, so that
I am very disciplined. It is you bringing Raila into this conversation.
So let me say this about Raila.
He betrayed us.
Okay, hold on. Well, do you feel betrayed?
Yeah, absolutely. We were not on the streets for ODM to get positions. We were on the streets to get good governance in this country. And had Raila joined us, we would be having a very difficult, a very different conversation right now. So we cannot start bringing him here and talking about how he was not respected. I don't know what, all of that history, honestly, was rubbished the day he betrayed the Gen Z movement. History will not absolve him. That happened when he was fighting Moi and whatnot, but when the people needed him, he turned his back on the people. There's no forgetting that. And also, when you talk about discipline from the young people, I think the Gen Zs have been absolutely disciplined in defending the dignity of the Kenyan people. That is the discipline we need to talk about. They have absolutely fought to the nail that the Constitution of Kenya is respected and upheld, that human rights are respected and upheld, that the Constitution is what dictates the politics of the country. And when Farah Malim comes and say, I'm going to kill 5,000 Gen Zs, when somebody says, if you give me 3 days, all of that happens, and then we want to look at the indiscipline of the people. What about the indiscipline of the oppressors? Who really should be talking about indiscipline from the other? And we are tired of even being labeled, or our children, they don't respect our elders. Where we come from, elders earn respect. I respect you because you are respectful and you deserve my respect. You've heard what people say, that even fools grow old. We have been seeing a lot of old fools in the political space. And then they are saying, you have no manners. Even I remember at the airport when I was asking Farah Malim if he's still killing 5,000 Gen Zs.
You asked him?
I asked him, I was like, yes.
And?
He said, oh, it wasn't me. He tried to, and then he told me, Anjura, you're like my granddaughter. And said, why are we bringing edges in politics when you wanted to kill us for raising a valid question? Honestly, Jeff, what people were saying is we reject the finance bill. And how that ended was in young people being dumped, was in women being dismembered and dumped in Kware, in Mukuru, was in a very dark face, came through the country because we said we reject the finance bill. This is outrageous. And today we are talking about young people are indisciplined. I refuse to have that notion about indiscipline, because it is not right. And it is weaponizing morals to entrench a hegemony and a dictatorship that is unacceptable.
Just to come in on the
Well put, well put. Lastly, let me play this clip alafu niwaingize hapa. I wanted to play Gladys Wanga's crazy, absolutely outrageous statement. Here it is.
We are preparing ourselves and strengthening ourselves to capture power come 2027. We capture power either as an individual party or as a coalition of parties. In 2013, we had CORD. When we didn't succeed with CORD, we reorganized it and became NASA. When we didn't succeed with NASA, we reorganized it and became Azimio. We were just about to succeed. And in 2027, we are going to reorganize ourselves and become something else that will take us to power. We are not talking about the reorganization now, but I can assure you that we are going to reorganize ourselves to capture power. What we must also understand is that we have, through the broad-based government, donated our experts. We have our experts. Mbadi, they are working in the national government as Minister for National Treasury. As a community here for 60 years since independence, we have never had a minister sitting in Treasury. We have a minister for energy. We have a minister for blue economy. We have a minister for cooperatives. We have another minister for East African community from Turkana. For the very first time, a Luo has become Attorney General of the Republic of Kenya. So I want to ask you, should we now start fighting these people? Should we fight them? So as a party, we must also recognize that our people are in the government. We cannot begin a war, open a war against them. Otherwise, we will be a party of contradictions. So that is why we say we are preparing ourselves, and we are not a merger. We are a standalone party, but we must also understand that we have our people inside. When your child is inside the house, do you burn it? Do you burn the house? You can't burn it with your child in there. It will be your loss. We can say, oh, abductions are wrong. Yes, it's a human right violation. But the bigger human right violation is also to discriminate a whole community for 60 years without them having any chance at anything.
So since there's a Attorney General who's a Luo in the first time history, how does the Luo people, how have they benefited from that? Her name is Gladys Wanga. She's governor of Homa Bay, if I'm not wrong. Very close ally to Raila.
We are preparing.
Yeah, her speech lastly. Here it is. It's a brief one.
There is a time and a season for everything. There is a time to mandamana and a time to sit back. Also, the African Union, one side, one person in America. SES national treasure. One day, SES my energy. Leave Luna more. One year ago, when you were say, if my player when you know is legal, what out on the hotel? I go up on the African Union. That you remember what we can all get good. Who I go at Shell Kenya Kagende and Mar Williams and Ruto. And Momio, where you were removed. You can't wait to again.
All right, so basically she's saying we can't send people. We can't oppose this government because we have our own people in there. If Raila says left and left, you say right, right. If you say up, up. If is it, that's what she's basically saying, and she's basically saying that when Uhuru Kenyatta told them to vote for Raila, they did not want to vote for Raila. Now they're asking us to join Mandamano and protests, but he's saying you guys have legs and a voice. You can voice your opinion and you can go Mandamana. Basically, telling the people of Mount Kenya. And that's exactly what I'm saying. She's playing into this. She's part of this Mchezo wa Town, bringing tension between these two communities, historically, politically divided communities. And this is exactly what they want. They want to play this. Alafu vita zifanyike, then there'll be a very huge government of national unity, whatever you want to call it, handshake government, NADCO. And this time they want to legitimize this government of national unity by changing the constitution, the laws. That way it's legally instituted, okay? That's what they want. It's all about using tribal strife, tension, and skirmishes, because when this ninio zikianza, vita zikianza, Gladys Wanga will not be hurt. She'll take a private jet and go to Uganda, or whatever the case is, then come back whenever. Watu wameumia or whatever the case is. She can care less. So this is part of the game. Anyway, I'm putting the link for anyone who wants to get in and give their 5 cents and talk about what we've reviewed. Whether you want to talk about Gachagua's newfound romance with political romance with Martha Karua, or if you want to talk about Wanga's nonsense, or you want to talk about whatever it is that you feel like you want to talk about, or any news, breaking news that you would like to share with us, the link is in the chat. Please, I'll be here for the next 31 hours or so, then tafunga duka. But anyway, karibuni sana. Kay, I see you on the hair, umeingia. What's on your mind?
Asante sana.
Karibu.
Thank you. I watched the biggest part of the big part of what you shared about Martha Karua and Gachagua.
Mm-hmm.
And it pains. It pains that at this time, a lot of us engaging in recycling politics. It's very painful. The same people who have been in power. Okay, let me ask you, what you do, you work somewhere, right? You have a way you make money, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're qualified in that. These people that we see in politics are the worst people in our systems. The killers, the murderers, the people who worship fake gods. It's what we're watching. I came here the other time and I shared a little bit. I've engaged some of these people. Karua, I've engaged her. Onyonka, I did. But the same people, you realize there's something controlling them. It's not what they want. For once, I wish Kip was here to explain to us how Martha Karua is good. But I know he is somewhere crying. Yes?
He might be here listening. He might join in later.
No, I know where he works, so he's good. I know he's going to watch it. Don't worry. I know.
Where he works? You know where he works?
Yes, some of us are not working for us.
Kip umesikia kuja ujitetee.
No. Takuja hapa. Akuja alia alafu atuambie first. But anyways, we cannot keep recycling the same old thugs, conmen, losers, the weakest among ourselves. They're the ones leading our country. You cannot have weak people leading our country. And when you do it, you end up with Kenya, one of the richest countries in the world. But we are done. As a country, we are done as well. Think about it. We have debt. Out of every tax dollar we have, let's not use dollars. Kenya shillings that we have, 100. I think at the moment it's like 75% of our Kenya shillings goes to debt, right? And most of this debt is fake. And we're here engaging about, and I'm not saying you, by the way, sorry if I do. We're here engaging about recycling. Where we are, we will not help it by recycling. Mother Karua, go, if you're a lawyer, go practice law. Matiangi, whoever these people are pushing Matiangi, if he's a banker, go fucking work in a bank. All of us work. Why do you feel entitled to feel like in any conversation we have to keep recycling people? Gen Zs said it.
Let me ask you this. There's something I just thought about. If you are familiar with the Mount Kenya politics, with the Gachagua now trying to unite the Mulima, okay, the people of the mountain. Don't you think this plays into this narrative that, because I hear some people from some quarters are saying that, especially the government affiliated, they're pushing this whole thing that watu wa Mulima, they feel entitled, they feel like they're the only ones who can lead, they feel like they're better than Kenya, majority of Kenya, the Kenyan yao. So with this being said, and Gachagua doing what he's doing, like meeting all these influential people in Mount Kenya, don't you think that he's playing into this hate against Mount Kenya region? Instead of, while it might be, something noble, I don't know if, but don't you think that he's contributing into that narrative, which might be a dangerous one, which, people might start looking at the people of the mountain as, that's my fear.
So I'll give you a background, Kiasi.
Yes.
So the mountains, and this is why Mother Karua comes in. The mountains, watu wamerudi mashinani. It's a fact. Pay attention. All right? So we realize there's a video you came and I know you posted Huku Alive. You talked about spirituality.
Yes.
This is what Mount Kenya is at now. And this is why they're trying to confuse. They cannot.
To me, I worry about it. I think it's a worry for me, because if you have a president who understands that he probably won't get any vote from the mountain, he has a history. Remember, he went to ICC. He went to ICC. Yes.
So election, it's a fake, it's a facade. You know, when you're building on a flat somewhere, right? It's a facade, you show it. But in reality, hakuna elections. You know that. I know it. Everybody watching this knows it. This IEBC stuff like tunaongea leo, it's a joke. We will not have a fair election. And anytime anybody engages in that, not you, for example, like you're a host, like you're sharing whatever is happening, but other people have seen this through a lot. This war is big.
Yeah. So what I was trying to say is this. yes, it is. Me and you understand that. But the problem is the way, in order for them to carry out this facade, as you call it, they are going to involve people, watafanya watu wawawe. And I am very concerned with this matamshi kama ya Gladys Wanga, the Robert Lai, Kaluma, who are really pointing a finger at the people of the mountain. And it's not only them.
You know, even, for example, I don't know whether you know, I think you have an idea about the US politics, right? The West.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things that you control, especially in the West, you tell white people they're better than blacks, right?
Right.
Regardless. Even those who are living like when you're the meth infected people, like they can't even. You tell them they're better than black person, and they feel good. This is Wanga, what she's doing. She's telling her people who are poor people, and it's not their fault. For example, you played a video anasema hii serikali tutakuwa na mtu wetu sijui PS ama CS in finance. If you listen carefully, hakusema we will change your lives. We will build roads. We will make your healthcare good. She did not say that. She said tutakuwa na mtu kwa serikali. It's a cult. And the moment most people do not understand that this thing is bigger, how they are running the thing is based on you. I wish the video you shared the other day about spirituality. We can discuss that because this is where this ties in. This thing is big. But go on.
So, yeah, because to me, that's my biggest worry. I do not want a repeat of 2017. The same players are coming into play again. We see the emergence of Maina Njenga and his crew. Ruto ndio huyo, he understands that he's not going to get vote from Mount Kenya, so he's not even worried about going there. The Mount Kenya, of course, they're also wamechemka. They are rallied in, their leaders are coming together, courtesy of, Gachagua, whatever the case is, So you see the politicians from Nyanza are also saying, oh, it's, sisi tuko huku nio. We know, I don't think majority of people of like you say, in Mount Kenya.
By the way, Gachagua, if you understand very well from his place, he's very well hated.
Even now, I think he's getting reception.
Yeah, no. Even now, people are now supporting Gachagua. They're supporting the message. Gachagua is known killer. I think he's from Nyeri, I think. He has caused a lot of pain in Central. Gachagua himself, and he knows it. There's a video, I think the other day you came and you shared about, you thought Ruto and Gachagua are playing. And I say this, if you go back to the videos for maybe like 6 or 4 months ago, I said Gachagua and Ruto, they're playing something. Ask yourself, Ruto with his powers, why is Gachagua alive? Right? He can kill kids, innocent kids. But Gachagua is alive.
Yeah, but killing Gachagua will be
no, he can do it. He can do it.
But the consequences won't be something that he would desire, because killing Gachagua might even mean the end of Ruto, because that is enough to start a civil war. I'll tell you that right now. As much as we don't like Gachagua.
Civil war will have to happen. That's a fact.
I'm not
Ruto no, I'm not saying that. Even me, I hate that. It's a fucking disgusting thing. Because we should have a fair system where people choose what they want, right? But
Right.
if you choose who you want and that person has no power, then you have no voice, right?
Right.
If you look at Ruto's power, Ruto's government, he got a lot of power votes from Central, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Look who is hurting most. Central people, right?
Yeah, I think everyone is hurting, including.
No, but he's intentionally focusing on hurting one community than most. Even as Masais are suffering, Luos are suffering, Kisis are suffering, right? Luyas are suffering.
Yeah.
But he's intentionally trying to hurt Kikuyu's worst. It's intentional. Think about it.
To me, I think it's more political than the actual news.
No. Actually,
Because if you look at it, Maendeleo, even somebody posted on Western Kenya, hizo development wanataka kufanya. There's nothing. There's everyone is ninio. Ni too politically, we are still brainwashed into thinking as far as our tribal chieftains is okay with Ruto, let's clap for him. We are in government now. Let me respond to this ninio hapa, and I want you to respond to this one.
Okay.
This Kama Salothi. Karibu sana Kama Salothi. And please subscribe, share, and do all that good stuff. We don't care whether they are recycled. We just need to hold politicians accountable. We need a system that holds them accountable, and it's through demonstrating until justice is served. What do you think about that?
So I don't know. Kama is new. Karibu Kama, by the way. So from this part, I will focus in the other part I had in mind. On Monday, it's a public holiday. If you open your shop, whatever happened in your shop, it's you. Guaido said, this system had failed for us to come back and fix our own country. We will not allow this system to sustain itself and fake an election of 2027, because most of us will die. You yourself, where you are, you're being threatened daily. And I know it. You know it. Even the audience know it. You shared your story here, right? So the thought of having a fair election is a myth. East to the IEBC, it's a game. You know, like, for example, in the West, I don't know where you are, but I assume you can see the West, right?
Mm-hmm.
You see how the West was manipulated. They can't even see how failed their system is. And now they are seeing it, for example, through TikTok. They can see how the Chinese are, right? And they were told this is the best system they have in the world, right? But they have a lot of homeless people. Show me a lot of homeless people in China. Show me. Show me. So this is what is happening. So the media is controlled. Githeri media is all over. Spice, same. Imekuwa. It's the same thing. It's a playbook. Tunachezewa. All of us have to understand this thing is terrible.
Okay. Now, I'll be very interested to see if somebody wrote this. Martha Karua, Gachagua, Kalonzo, Kioni, Wamalwa, Natembea, Okia. Who else? They are all going to Ninio. Even probably Matiangi also.
Even Onyonka. Even Onyonka and Omtata, there's the two people I thought they were decent people. They are the same thing. We have to clean. Everybody has to go. Kama Onyonka ni lawyer, go fucking be a lawyer. If you're a banker, go be a banker. There's no career in life of a politician, especially in our countries. Because one thing we have, you come and notice, Sudi Sudi nani ni makanga. Can you imagine a makanga running a country? That's what he's doing. What do you expect? Everybody in Kenya unajua. Makanga is like, oh, you're going home. But you don't expect that person to tell you how, if you're sick, utatibiwa wapi. That person is making decisions for a whole country, 55 million people. What do we expect as a society? What do we expect when we have the likes of Sudi, Makanga, a moron, IQ of a dog, I might say? What do we expect as a society when we bring the worst among ourselves to lead anyone? A society so blessed like Kenya, best engineers, best doctors, but those people will never be having the likes of Ruto in power. It's intentional. It's very intentional. I know you watch a lot of things abroad. You know how to fail a system when you mess up everybody who is good and you have the worst be the leaders in that country. Mtu anaropokwa. Like Sudi. Anaropokwa tu. Hana akili. Between the 2 years, there's nothing in between. It's so painful, man.
Well, Karua has started a new chama. Well, she has a new chama. People something, liberation, something. I don't know if you heard about it. She's asking for people to join it. I don't know if it has morphed from NAC to people's something. And I was saying, with all these people who are so-called opposition, Kalonzo, Karua, Gachagua, Natembea, do they stand a chance if they all meet? Because I think that's going to be I hate talking about 2027, but I can't avoid it because that's what people are talking about. I'd rather talk about how we can remove Ruto, but that's what people are talking about, so I might as well. So do they stand a chance with Ruto if ideally, let's say the mountain or Shikane the western Kenya, then now Akina Kalonzo, which is Wakamba, Coast. I don't know who is going to come from Coast to join them, but Coast maybe.
So what will happen?
Mm-hmm.
What will happen is they'll have a powerful fake voice, and most of us will engage in that conversation and like, oh, they will win. At the end of the yes, we will do that because I've watched Banana show. Jiro and I joined the same thing.
What same thing? That
you engage in what you're fed. You have to think outside the box. So utakuja tuseme Gachagua amejoin na Karua. By the way, even Karua is terrible, by the way. Yeah. But we are using the same people who are compromised, thinking that the same compromised people will help our country. That's a myth.
Right.
But we will engage in that too as well. We will engage in that too as well. But as I see it from here, hii ni mchezo. By the way, you know who is the first African alikuwa invited kwa nini? Trump? No, Ruto.
Nani, this guy from Burkina Faso.
Traore was the only African invited. No, walijua wanakuja kumu-assassinate. He's not stupid.
Yeah. I just want to say, Martha Karua, her stock value, political stocks, I think has gone down with, mi ningekuwa yeye, I would have embraced Gachagua chini ya maji. Because Gachagua is so tied in with Ruto. Hata kama wamekosana, yes, he's the mountain, the voice of the mountain. But kushikana na nani, it's like, Now, msimamo wake ni wapi? That's why I would have really loved if Kip angekuwa hapa to put in his view, because hold on. This is the same.
Nakuja aliye first then nakuja join show.
This is the same lady. This is the same lady who worked under Kibaki. Nothing wrong with that. But ile could defend Kibaki's loss. Then she deputized. She was running mate to running mate to Raila Odinga. And I'm like, I mean, by joining Raila Odinga, by knowing that Raila Odinga is a con man, joining him, and now she's joining Gachagua, who is a failed, I mean, as you've told us, he was involved now some killings in Molo, alafu and deputized Nani Ruto, and now she's embracing Gachagua. I mean, how bad is her decision making?
No, bro. For example, me and him, right? And I hope I don't know where you are. Assuming there's a drug cartel, there's a human trafficking, but your best friend is a human trafficker and you know it, right? But you're not. What should that tell you about you as a human being? So we are talking about Mother Karua knows everything, but somehow she's clean. Somehow, right?
Yeah.
And somehow we think she has seen people killed. She's amejua nini Uhuru ameua watu. Najua Ruto ameua watu. And in Kibaki government, the last time of Kibaki, I think a lot of people said Kibaki lost, right? But she said that he won. So you have to question her character as a human being. There's some, we have to be honest. Mimi sikuji hapa nataka kumchague. I do not want anybody to ever vote for anything. Me, Staki. But you have to question everyone in power. If you do not, and expect that saint to be, the Bible says, you have to see, look, angalia character ya mtu. That's how you judge a human being, the character of human being. I cannot hang out with you if you kill people. I see you kill someone and you're my best friend. That's not happening. But here, Mother Karua knew kila kitu didn't happen. Kibaki time, the election rigged. She was the one who was telling us there's a fair election. But somehow, when there's a revelation, you expect this person as well to be the saint to save our own country. It's a myth. It will not happen. So anyone who engages in Mother Karua's talk, Matiangi's talk, either is mentally compromised or mentally incapable of thinking. I cannot even trust you. I cannot even trust you to babysit my dog. Let me be honest.
Oh, Lord. I want to scare IEBC kidogo. Let me hear this.
Of Dr. Muli to the selection. The electoral uncertainty occasioned by lack of an independent electoral and boundaries commission is set to continue due to an ongoing matter in the Court of Appeal. The court will give directions on the appeal filed by Augustine Muli and the Azimio coalition. Augustine Muli opposed the nomination of Dr. Muli to the selection panel and has been engaged in a protracted battle for the nomination slot. Stephen Leto kicks us off on Citizen Weekend.
The road to recruit new IEBC commissioners is still bumpy, clouded with uncertainty of an appeal lodged in court by disgruntled parties. The appellate court has set the hearing for Tuesday, the 28th of this month by a 3-judge bench. It is, however, not clear if the Court of Appeal will clear the remaining hurdles or the hearing and determination of the appeal will take longer. The case by Augustine Muli of the National Liberal Party opposes the inclusion of Muli, whose name was forwarded by the Wiper Democratic Movement Party to the selection panel. According to the case by Augustine Muli and the Azimio coalition, the political parties disputes tribunal did not grant Ambassador Muli the right to be heard, and that political parties dispute tribunal lacked jurisdiction to hear the complaint before it. The appellants further add that the political parties disputes tribunal selected a stranger to represent Azimio in the case, and that the political parties dispute tribunal did not affirm the 2/3 gender rule, and it usurped the role of Azimio in picking its nominee to the IEBC selection panel. The National Liberal Party and its leader Augustine Muli challenged the decision by the High Court, which held that he won in the election by Azimio parties, but in the wrong category. The ruling by the High Court, in effect, handed the Wiper Party a chance to nominate its candidate Muli to the hiring panel. Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka has in the past accused the government of using proxies to undermine the process and delay it altogether.
I urge those who are standing in the way of reconstituting IEBC to be able to see the bigger picture. They should set aside their narrow selfish interests in preference to the greater good of this nation.
IEBC haipigi kura, Bwana Kalonzo Musyoka. Ni Wakenya ndio wanapiga kura.
Should the Court of Appeal give a no to the gazettement of the 9 nominees, then they will be pressed for time to have the names ready for submission to the President for appointment, with 2 years and 7 months left to the next general election. Stephen Letos, Citizen TV.
All right. You have Kama saying, I support Martha. The fact that she resigned from Kibaki administration tells you about her character. At the end of the day, she's a politician. We are not going to agree on everything with everyone. Yeah, but she resigned after she found out that the position she wanted, she didn't get. So, yeah.
Can I be... Okay, I'll be petty. Who talks like this? The reporter. Who speaks like that? Do you think that person speaks like that to his mom? The reporter we just had from. You see? No, let's be honest, come on. Is that normal? What is that doing? Wakenya ni lazima tuanze kujiuliza. What's happening with us? We are lost. Who speaks like that? No, let's be honest. I know it's Gypsy. Yeah, kuna mtu anaongeanga hivyo kwenye huko.
Yeah, that's
like, oh God.
That's